said to Percival Goodman, what we want is modern, modern, modern. We want our synagogue to be full of optimism, to be full of openness, and to be full of life. And Percival Goodman did just that. But he did something else. He hired the artist of the day. And the artistic vocabulary of the day was abstract expressionism. He hired Robert Motherwell, Herbert Ferber, whose burning bush you see there on the synagogue, and Robert Motherwell and Adolf Gottlieb to fill and infuse the synagogue with the contemporary art. Max Gruenwald had been a rabbi in Mannheim, Germany, and he went back to Germany and took some rubble from the destroyed synagogue and brought it back to the United States and created in 1951 the first Holocaust memorial in a synagogue. Now, Philip Johnson is another story. Philip Johnson, one of the most important American architects of the 20th century, he would say of all time, but we'll give him the 20th century, was sided with the Germans in the 30s. More than that, he was an isolationist. He worked very hard to keep America out of the war. He said, why should we fight the war for the Jews? After World War II, he wanted atonement. He wanted forgiveness from the Jewish community. He wanted to make amends with the Jewish community. And so he put out in the ether that he was willing to design, build both the exterior and the interior of a synagogue for free. And he shopped rabbis. And finally, the rabbi at Knesset Tiferet Israel in Port Chester, New York, agreed. And in fact, Philip Johnson designed the synagogue, both the exterior, the interior, the furniture, and he too hired and paid an abstract expressionist sculptor, Eben Laszlo, to do the art in the synagogue. So in 1970, when Lincoln Square was built, it was considered quite modern. But now, all of our attention is going down the street. And we're all thinking about what's going to be like. What should a synagogue be like in the 21st century? What values should a synagogue hold for the 21st century? Accessibility for all. Check. Security. Check. Flexibility. Check. Environmentally friendly. Check. And this is one of my favorites. Equal seating for men and women. Check. And like our synagogue today, an all-encompassing model. An all-encompassing model for our Jewish life and for our whole life. But the values of the 21st century only work if they're connected, if they're intertwined with our history, with our symbols, with our traditions. So look up on the ceiling and you'll see 613 lights reflecting the 613 commandments. The materials used within the synagogue are acacia wood, shita, cedars of Lebanon, and bronze. All materials that were used in the Mishkan and in the Beit HaMikdash. The blue carpet reflects the dyed blue walls of the Mishkan, the blue of the tzitzit, and makes us think about the heavens and the seas. And what about the exterior? The 5 bands, the 5 glass bands, echo the 5 books of the Torah. And the undulation of the glass reflect the parchment scroll of the Torah. And you see the windows above the entrance, 12, to remind us of the 12 tribes. It's very exciting. It's really exciting. But what is a synagogue? What is an edifice? What is a gathering place? without congregants, without the people that are inside of it, both past and present. I would like to talk about 3 people who are in my living memory. 3 people, Zikron Lebrachot, 3 people who inspired me, and perhaps some of you here tonight. Rabbi Herschel Cohn, Mrs. Martha Cohn, and my buddy Nathaniel Cohn. Rabbi Herschel Cohn was my moral center. He was my guidepost. There was never a shiloh, there was never a question that he wasn't available to sit and talk with me. And there was never a time of day or a time of night when he did not make himself available. And believe me, I took advantage of that. Howard Cliff, thank you. Mrs. Martha Cohn, oh my. When Howard and I moved to New York, Howard said, go get seats, go get seats. I said, okay, okay. And I came and I went upstairs, and there was this really stately looking woman with this shock of white hair with charts all around her, and already an octogenarian, and so amazing. And she said to me, where do you want to sit? And I said, I don't know, I haven't even seen the sanctuary. I said, but to tell you the truth, Mrs. Cohn, I gotta be honest with you, I only come to shul to talk. And without missing a beat, she said that I know just which row I'll put you in. And as you all know, I have not stopped talking since. And my buddy Nathaniel. Everyone has that person in the synagogue that they look to, that inspire them, that makes them feel like they can be a better person. That was Nathaniel for me. No matter what his physical constraints, he always had a smile on his face, and he was always ready for that next adventure. And more than that, he taught me the most valuable lesson. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, I have to be honest. But he said, you know what, Linda, maybe it's really not that way. He always said to judge favorably. He really, really lived his life that way. So, it's almost here, guys. I think I've been looking outside, and the building's really coming along. I know we're all excited about it, about its form, about its function, and about our future in that synagogue. I want to thank you, each and every one of you, you too, everyone, for giving this honor to Howard and me. I want to thank Therese Genovese of Setra Ruddy, that's our architects, for helping me. Where are you, Therese? Thank you very much. And I really have to take this opportunity to thank Howard, my husband, my hon. I don't know how you stay with me, but I am deeply appreciative. You are really amazing, amazing, amazing. You take me to a new place, Howard. You really do. So